If you're like me, nagging customers for payments is about as fun as a root canal, but hopefully QuickBooks can make it a little bit more tolerable. Because collections rely on the invoice date to calculate what is overdue and about to be due, there's no working file for this chapter. QuickBooks uses the current date whenever you open a company file. And if you were to open the working file, say in July, everything would be overdue. So the Collections Center is inside the Customer Center. So let's open the Customer Center. And I don't know if you can see it, it's barely visible. There's a little exclamation point there, and that means that there are overdue invoices. So let's go ahead and click Collections Center. So in one place, you can see at a glance who has past due invoices and almost due invoices. So let's take a look at the overdue invoices first. If you wanted to view the invoice, you would just click the invoice number or the days overdue. And if you wanted to see the customer record, you could click the customer name. If you don't have an email address on file for a customer, you'll see a little envelope icon, and you could click that to add the missing email address. To add notes to track your collection efforts, you would just click the notes icon. When you send an email, QuickBooks also tracks that in the notepad. So here you can see that email has been sent to this customer. If you wanted to send a reminder email, just click Select and Send Email. And you can choose which customers you want to send the email to by making sure there's a check mark in the checkbox. And we won't send one to Chester because we already sent one. QuickBooks provides the text for the email, but you can change it if you'd like. And we change this to now. And when you're ready to send, just click Send. You can set up your email address and preferences, and I'll show you that in a bit. But first, let's go to the Almost Due tab, and it works just like the Overdue tab. You can click the invoice to view the invoice, click the days overdue, or the customer name to see the customer record. And just like the overdue invoices, you could send an email. And this text is slightly different, saying the payment is coming up soon. So QuickBooks uses the date the invoice is due to determine the invoice status. So it's overdue if it is still unpaid 5 days after the due date. It is almost due if it's unpaid 15 days before the due date. And you can change the number of days in Reminders Preferences. So let's take a quick look at that now. First, close the Collection Center and go to the Edit menu and click Preferences. And click Reminders and Company Preferences. And here you can see overdue invoices are considered overdue 5 days after the due date, and almost due are considered almost due 15 days before the due date. And you can change those numbers if you'd like. And while we're here, let's click Send Forms. And this is where you can change the text for the emails. So for all of these types of forms, you can change what the email says. So overdue invoices is what we just sent. And if you'll remember, I changed immediately to now when I sent the email, but if I wanted to do that permanently, I could change it here. And to set up your email address, go to My Preferences and click Add to add your email address and server information. Well, that's it for the Collections Center. I hope you will find it useful.